In this video, I'll be showing how to replace front wheel bearings on the Chevrolet Equinox. They are located behind the front wheels. Let's get started.
Let's remove our front wheel. There's 5 19mm lug nuts. If they're swollen, just thread them back on. Take the socket off and undo it by hand. Now that my wheel's off, I'm going to make my way to the brake caliper bracket and locate these two 21mm bolts. I'll be removing those. When removing the last bolt, keep a hand on the bracket so it does not fall and damage any components. Set these aside. Remember, keep a hand on the bracket and caliper. I'm going to remove my caliper assembly. If it's not coming out, you could use a flat blade screwdriver on both sides and just pry it up. I'll be using the hook on where the bolts went and hooking it on the strut assembly spring. Make sure there's no tension on this brake hose. If there is, you could cause damage. Now to remove the rotor, we have a screw right here. It is a T30. I'm use an impact driver to remove it. Be careful not to strip the screw out. Make sure it's firmly in place. And there it is, set it aside. Now let's remove our rotor. Work it off the hub. Now I'm going to move along to the back side of the knuckle and locate the speed sensor. As a T30 torque screw as well. Just going to remove that. Set it aside. Now the speed sensor should just slide out. You just got to work it back and forth. And set this aside as well. Quick inspection for any damage or corrosion. Now to remove our 32mm axle nut. You'll want to use an impact gun for this. You can set this aside as well. Now I'm going to take a punch and hammer to verify the axle moves back and forth in the wheel bearing and hub assembly. You'll want to hit it right in there. So ensure a punch. You can see my axle is now moving in the wheel bearing and hub assembly. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the 3 18mm bolts holding the wheel hub and bearing assembly onto the knuckle. There's one right here, one on the top, and one on the other side. I'll just be breaking all of them free first. Now I'm going to break loose my third bolt. Set it aside. And now remove the other two. Be careful not to cause any damage to the axle boot. Quick note, while you remove the last one, keep your hand on the hub and bearing assembly just in case it falls out. And here's your last bolt. And now to remove our wheel bearing and hub assembly. Pushing on the axle. And pull at the same time. And there it is. Now to remove our backing plate. Set this aside. Then before we move along any further, I'm going to give the knuckle a quick cleaning using some brake cleaner and a clean rag. Make sure you have a collection receptacle underneath. Yeah, that looks good. I'm going to move along to my axle splines and hub mating surface. I'll be lubricating these. And now for the splines. Now I'm going to prep the face of the knuckle with a wire brush. The cutout goes towards the front of the vehicle. That is for the brake caliper. Simply just align it. And now for a wheel hub and bearing assembly. Just gonna line it up and slide it over. Just leave it aligned there for now. Now push the bearing in, and from the back, push the axle out. As you can see now, we have access to our threads. I'm going to hand thread on my 3 18mm bolts for the hub and bearing assembly. Insert them here. Make sure the backing plate and the hub and bearing assembly is aligned so you can thread these in. Now I'm going to go ahead and torque these to 74 foot-pounds. Be careful not to damage the axle boot or any of the clips. Now for my last bolt. Now let's go ahead and apply some anti-seize. Now to install our axle nut. I'm going to thread it on by hand first. And snug it down for now. Again, I'm going to leave this snug for now. We are going to finish torquing it when the wheel's on the ground. Now to install our rotor. I'm going to slide our rotor over, locate this at screw hole, and install it. I'll just be snugging this down. It is a T30 screw. That's good. Now for my brake caliper assembly. Gonna lower it from the strut, remove the hook. Now I'm just gonna insert it on the brake rotor. Now I'm gonna hand thread on my 2 bolts. Quick note, make sure the brake hose is not bound or kinked in any way before you install. I'm going to snug these down with my 21mm. Now for the top one. Now our torque spec for these is 111 foot-pounds. Now for our wheel speed sensor. Gonna go ahead and insert it. And thread on my T30 torque screw. Now just snug it down. Now make sure it's secure. And that looks good. Now the torque specification for this is 53 inch-pounds. As you can see, I lowered my vehicle a bit to ground level. This is so I can place a pry bar between the studs so I can finally torque the axle nut socket. So I'm going to place the pry bar here. Make sure it's secure between the 2 studs. And the torque spec for this is 185 foot-pounds. I'm using my 32mm. And now it's tight. Now let's reinstall our left front wheel. Just snug these up by hand. I'm going to tie in these in a crisscross pattern. So just snug them down for now. Now let's go ahead and torque these to 100 foot-pounds in a crisscross pattern.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.